Вон грибочек поднялся, хорошенький. Вон грибочек поднялся.
At night, Ukrainian drones reportedly hit an ammunition depot in occupied Luhansk. The resulting fireworks are impressive. Ukrainian forces frequently prioritize ammunition depots as key targets, and the reported strike in occupied Luhansk underscores why these operations matter. Ammunition storage sites are the lifeblood of Russia's offensive capability, feeding artillery batteries, rocket launchers, and armored assaults. When depots are destroyed, the immediate effect is seen in secondary explosions and massive fires, but the strategic impact is far greater. Every lost cache means Russian units at the front face delays, shortages, and reduced firepower, forcing them to ration shells or relocate supply lines under pressure. These attacks also complicate Russian logistics, stretching already strained transport networks and making them more vulnerable to follow-up strikes. Beyond the battlefield, the psychological effect of seeing ammunition stores erupt in flames undermines Russian confidence and boosts Ukrainian morale. By systematically degrading supply hubs, Ukraine is not only blunting Russia's ability to wage war, but also setting the conditions for broader counteroffensive operations. This is the aftermath of the Ukrainian drone and missile strike on the former Topaz plant in occupied Donetsk several days ago. We can see that the factory is completely destroyed. It is known that since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, Russia has been using the plant to store its equipment, which is why it has repeatedly been targeted by Ukraine. It is currently unknown what type of weapons were used to attack the plant. However, footage published by local residents suggests that the strike may have been carried out using Peklo or Bars cruise missiles. The characteristic location of the jet engine and wing, captured on video, supports the theory that a Peklo missile was used. It should be noted that rocket strikes against high-ranking Russian officers have already been carried out in Donetsk. In particular, on June 30th, during an attack on the command post of the Russian 8th Combined Arms Army, the group's communications chief was eliminated. Russian mill blogger Rybar reports that Ukraine has intensified strikes on western Crimea since August, focusing on radar stations within air defense systems rather than launchers. He claims Ukraine is also targeting communications infrastructure and logistics hubs to reduce Russian detection capabilities at sea and in the air. The goal, according to him, is to gradually weaken Crimea's air defenses and open a corridor for larger attacks. Russia's mass drone incursion in Poland is only the latest episode in a long-running series of incursions in 9 other European countries, as far away as Croatia, since 2022. There have been at least 56 instances of Russian drones and missiles landing outside Ukraine. The Russian independent news outlet Verstka reports that Russian drone and missile debris was found in countries other than Ukraine 7 times in 2022, 16 times in 2023, 17 times in 2024, and 16 times in 2025 prior to 10th September. Romania has been the worst affected, with 20 such incidents since 2022. 1 in 2022, 7 in 2023 and 2024, and 5 in 2025. This is closely correlated with Russian attacks on Ukrainian ports on the Danube River, which marks the Ukraine and Romania border. Moldova is second, with 15 incidents overall, 2 in 2022, 5 in 2023, 7 in 2024, and 1 in 2025. There have been 6 incidents in Belarus, 1 in 2022 and 2023, 2 in 2024 and 2025. Belarus and Poland are the only countries outside Ukraine to have shot down Russian drones. Poland also had 6 incidents prior to the 10th of September. There have been 4 in Bulgaria, 2 in Lithuania, and 1 each in Croatia, Latvia, and Estonia. 2 people have been killed so far, and property has also been damaged. The 2 who died were killed near Przewodów, Poland in November 2022. A house was badly damaged in the latest Polish incursion, while in Belarus, a drone crashed into a house, fell on a car, and exploded. It's time for Trump to realize that Putin is mocking him. said Polish Foreign Minister Sikorski.
I think it's high time that President Trump should see that Putin is mocking him. Instead of a ceasefire that was supposed to happen before the Alaska summit and serious peace talks, Putin is sending more and more drills, first at Ukraine and now at NATO. So I hope that at the end of this process, we have a series of coordinated moves to make President Putin realize that this exotic project of rebuilding the Russian Empire will not stand.
Poland has closed all border crossings with Belarus starting from Friday, due to the ongoing large-scale joint Russian-Belarusian military exercise, Zapad 2025. The Polish Ministry of the Interior and Administration said in a statement that the closure, which was for national security reasons, took effect at midnight local time on Friday. All road and rail crossings along the Polish-Belarusian border have been closed with immediate effect until further notice. Minister Marcin Kierwiński said that border traffic will be resumed only when the government is convinced that the safety of Polish citizens is fully guaranteed. The Russian-Belarusian exercise is scheduled to last until September 16th. The MSWIA said that given the risk of an extension of Zapad 2025, the suspension of border traffic will be lifted only after the drills are concluded. Russia calls on Poland to reconsider its decision to close the border with Belarus, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said on Thursday. Poland's unilateral actions will cause serious harm to its international partners who use the Polish-Belarusian border for trade, she said. Utah Governor Spencer Cox says in a press conference that there's a tremendous amount of disinformation currently circulating online about the killing of Charlie Kirk, adding that bots from Russia and China are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence. In Russia, people eligible for military service have been blocked from traveling abroad after the launch of electronic military registration and the distribution of electronic draft notices. This was reported by the Moscow Times. It is stated that the first such case had occurred on September 11th, when a 28-year-old man who had not previously served in the army tried to fly abroad for a vacation. According to him, he received an electronic summons to undergo a medical examination, and the summons website displayed a travel ban, but he decided to check in practice whether it worked or not. At the passport control at Sheremetyevo Airport, they immediately called officers without any explanation, who conducted an explanatory conversation, saying that the ban was indeed displayed in their database and that they could not do anything, and that this was the first such case they had with this new service, the man said. At the same time, border service officials said that the travel ban could only be lifted by a military enlistment office upon personal appearance. Military commissariats began to enroll Russians in the military register en masse with electronic summonses in the summer. In the mailing, conscripts were offered to go through authorization and receive an extract of their data. Russians began receiving the first electronic summonses in August of this year. Notifications about them come via Gosuslugi and SMS. They inform about the ban on leaving the country and indicate the date of reporting to the military enlistment office. In addition, they provide a list of restrictions in case of draft evasion. Putin ordered the creation of a unified digital register of persons liable for military service in Russia after the announcement of mobilization in the fall of 2022. In April of the following year, electronic summonses were equated with paper ones, and a list of restrictions was approved for citizens who evade the draft. At the end of August 2025, the Russian government decided to extend the validity of military conscription notices to 1 year, thereby allowing a person to be drafted or mobilized during 2 conscription periods. This step is allegedly aimed at ensuring more efficient planning and implementation of mobilization activities.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
gets 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.